Now everybody, I'm Cantonese Cat. Hey everybody, Cantonese Cat here. You want me to talk about Bitcoin proxies real quick? I can do it as fast as I can. I'd merely go up and just talk about Bitcoin here real quick. This is the monthly chart. I got again here drawn from the bottom around 2011 November. And you can see that this scan here is giving you some pretty remarkable symmetry. It's just kind of been breaking arc after arc after arc, and it got rejected here, this arc. Come back down here, push through the arc, back test the arc here for about 7 months. And right now we're just kind of stuck in limbo up here in the air, right? Doesn't mean that it's going to just getting stuck here, because like look at how smooth this move up was, right? Not really. It actually has to take some detour. Look at how smooth this up was, right? Not really. Actually, it does have to take some detour. You know, it's a little bit of a bouncy ball here, a lot of volatility. Here, so far we're just starting the month. It's only been 8 days into the month. So far, you do have a little bit of a treaser top to it. Am I scared? Probably not. If you just look at a monthly candle, last month, a lot of people got scared of this candle over here. Is this one of those shooting star candle that people get concerned about? No, I'm not that concerned about it, because it's an inside candle to this one. And so far, we have another inside candle over here. So far, just consolidating sideways here, forming a bull flag. I am not really that concerned overall. Right, you can't just take into candle formation without taking into account of the trend, without taking into where, in terms of where you are in the cycle and all that. This is a weekly can here. I think this is drawn a little bit different. This is 720 and 500, and you can see that it's also given some pretty remarkable market symmetry here. We got rejected arc here, supported arc here, broke through this arc, didn't really quite backtest the arc here, which is quite remarkable. If anything, this is very bullish. It's been gravitating around this horizontal line here, pushed up, broke the angle, got rejected the arc here. Right now, it is stuck between the arc and the angle, and is building a little bit of consolidation wedge over here, right? Where is it going to go? Anybody's guess. Nobody really knows. It's just consolidating, but because the primary trend is up, then you would think that the probability is that the trend is going to continue to the upside. Every single cycle, going back to the monthly chart here, every single cycle has a bullish expansion. You usually have a phase where wells have accumulated for about a year or two. This is Bitcoin. They do this. They accumulate for about a year or two, and then they try to push price way up and try to distribute to you and make money from it. Consolidation over here for about 2 years, then they distribute it on the way up and try to make money from it. Consolidation here for about a year or year and a half. Reaccumulation over here. They're trying to distribute it to you. We haven't really had the monthly bullish band expansion yet. I still think that this could still happen based on this and based on like a bunch of other stuff like the what do you call that? I keep on messing. The MVRVZ score that hasn't really touched the top. You have the pi cycle indicator that hasn't really touched. I'm not going to put any of those things. Look them up if you'd like. But there's just a lot of Bitcoin top indicators that still hasn't really happened. All right. What about the proxies? Number one proxy area I was going to talk about is MicroStrategy. Still holding Tenkan Kijun here just fine, right? Flipped it from resistance over here to support on the way up. Still looking pretty decent on a higher time frame. On a 3-month chart, you can see how it flipped the Tenkan here from resistance to support. It's still support right now. So am I scared about MicroStrategy? No, not particularly. Not one bit, really. Do I think that MicroStrategy is going to keep going to the moon, though? I don't know about that. I think at some point the party will end. Is it going to be 1,300, 2,400, 5,300? I do not know the answer to that. All I know is I don't think the cycle necessarily would end here around 300. I just don't really see that to be my primary case. You look at this Gann chart here on the weekly. Got some beautiful market symmetry on the way up, and it's basically pushing through from arc after arc with back test. Now you got close this arc up here. Didn't really quite make it, but you end up getting rejected here at 1.618. Log fib here almost perfectly, come back down, hovering around the 1.414 here after back testing again, horizontal line over here. Can it go down further? Maybe. There's still a little bit of gap over here. It has a hard time really closing it. And actually, if this gap doesn't end up closing, it's actually quite bullish because they're really trying very, very hard to close it. Is just been consolidating after a big giant move for 3 months, consolidating for about a month and a half. Big deal, right? Big deal. It consolidated over here for about 3 months. A lot of indicators are telling me this is not yet the top, and it's just consolidating sideways, and it can potentially keep going up higher. We will see whether or not that is the case or not. Completely up to your interpretation. Coinbase, I'm still very, very bullish on Coinbase because it's doing the things that I think are what bullish charts are doing, which is pushing through the 0.786, back testing it, getting ready to launch, back tested the bottom of this arc over here, back tested the 0.786 here, and also back testing the bull support band, right? It's just got so much confluence zone and support zone over here. This week looks like it's just a little bit of like a double tap over here. Try to build some solid grounding here before the launch is my suspicion. None of these are financially advised. None of these are deterministic. It's just probabilistic. And that's what it looks like it's trying to do, right? It's also trying to backtest this horizontal breakout zone over here. So far, there's nothing really bearish about this structure that I can see, right? On the monthly here, yeah, you had a little bit of trees to top. It's just correcting. So far, you got a little bit of a inside candle over here, but you're still holding the Ichimoku Tenkin here as support. This is generally how bullishness starts, right? I've seen this recently, a few months ago, on another chart here, which I did another video that I'm going to release here sometime tonight, called Palantir. If I just simply move the Palantir on the monthly here, show the Ichimoku, I'm going to basically line these two things up here very, very similarly. You see this big giant cup over here. You see this big giant cup over here, right? And you also see the consolidation zone here. For Palantir, it lasted a lot shorter, right? But for Coinbase, lasted a little bit longer. Regardless, you had a bullish cross over here with the blue crossing over the red. Bullish Tenkin Kijun cross is what they call it. Price kind of hovering around the zone here, finding support after being range bound, right? Price hovering around the zone over here, finding support after being range bound over here, right? And it broke through with this big candle. Didn't really quite moon quite just yet. They had to come back and back test some of the stuff here, right? We just talked about what is some of the stuff over here. Well, a lot of things I just talked about. Very similar to over here. There's just so much similarities. Back testing Tenkin, getting ready to launch. If not this month, if not next month, the month after that, I don't care. Whenever it does that, it could be a pretty powerful move. That is Coinbase. I'm also in CoinL. CoinL is going to look weird here on Ichimoku because it's a leverage play. But CoinL, even the GAN here is looking quite beautiful. All it's really doing is really just backtesting the very, very confluent support zone over here. At the GAN arc, at the GAN angle, at the 1.236 VIP level, at the GAN horizontal line over here. Are you kidding me, right? You are battling the bull support band here a little bit now. This is again a little bit of a leverage play here. It's 2x coin Coinbase. So you're going to battle the bull support band here, whereas Coinbase over here is already over that just because of decay, right? But if Coinbase is going to look bullish, and if CoinL is at a huge support zone, I think it's going to do okay. I really think it's going to do okay. It's stuck underneath the Ichimoku here, whereas Coin is over that, right? Again, there is just a little bit of decay here. Regardless, I still think that this is quite a bullish chart based on what I'm seeing, right? CleanSpark, I'm not going to talk too much about it. I still think that this is a big fractal to this small fractal over here. And if I pull up the bar support band, it's going to basically look very similar to you. This looks like a head and shoulder continuation pattern. I don't know, every single time I say head and shoulder continuation pattern, I'm doing it on purpose because not all head and shoulders has to end up being a reversal. A lot of time actually don't work out. So I think that it's a great fake out, if you will, right? Developing a bigger head and shoulder pattern over here, maybe some continuation, right? Bounce from arc to arc, came back down here to back test the arc before mooning to the next arc, bouncing arc to arc, right? Come back down, back test the arc over here before potentially mooning to the next arc, right? I don't know what it's going to do. All I know is that it's been extremely painful for 2024. A lot of people have given hope on it, and it's absolutely horrible, and the chart looks like this. It looks like it wants to break above the bull support band here. It just simply hasn't really had the momentum to do so quite just yet, right? If you're looking at the other moving averages here, you can see something that is very wonderful that is happening. What that wonderful thing is that you have a confluence support zone down here. What is the confluence support zone down here? What did it just bounce off of this week? What is that purple line? The purple line is the 200-week moving average, DSMA. Bounced off almost perfectly, right? You had the 100 where it bounced off last week, right? Seems like CleanSpark loves the 100-week moving average for some reason, right? Seems like it loves it, right? I don't know why. Resistance here, support, resistance close to it anyway. Resistance here, support, right? I don't know why it loves it that much, but I think this tells you the whole tale here. You have some recent weakness, so the 20-week is going to serve as still a little bit of resistance here, but the 50 is going to, already kind of building a lot of momentum here. It's backtesting in 200, backtesting in 100. So far it's finding support, right? It's just consolidating sideways here in a range, building up some energy, and so far, because we're still holding a lot of these longer term support zone over here as support, and because it looks like a potential fractal, and because I'm also still bullish on Bitcoin, I'm still bullish on CleanSpark. Does it have technical problems? Yeah, it does. Right? Got rejected here on the weekly cloud, got rejected here on the monthly cloud. It's underneath the Tenkan and Kitchen. It just needs time and consolidation before going up further, right? It even broke underneath the 20-month moving average, right? It's underneath it right now. It even got rejected over there. Is this the end? Maybe. Never go all in, right? But again, you're going to make fun of me. I'm going to switch to 6 weeks here, and when I do that, everything just smooths out. You can really tell what's going on here. Resistance, support. Very similar to the 100-week moving average. So yeah, I can't, like with the monthly here, it's just rough. Like you can't really tell, is it going to break out here? Nope, just kidding, right? It just doesn't look nearly as nice as the 6 week. I think 6 week tells you a little bit of a better picture in terms of what's going on. Regardless, it's a tricky stock. What I really think it's doing, if you're looking at a lot of the elite wave technicians, they're really hoping to avoid like a lower low over here. They want this to be a higher low compared to over here, and it just got really close. I think it's just one of those things that they keep shorting. There's a lot of short energy that's going on right now, and they're trying to prevent CleanSpark from going up, but it's still forming a higher low here. So we'll see. It's just consolidating here in a wedge. That's all I can say, right? I mean, I can draw the bigger wedge over here. You can tell I don't like the fact that it's like so busy, but I can draw the wedge over here. You can tell like this is a wedge, right? Eventually it's going to break out one way or another, and we'll see which way it breaks out. My money is in it. I'm bullish on Bitcoin. I'm also bullish on IWM, which I think is waiting for that to break out too. But yeah, that's CleanSpark. Mara, what is Mara doing? Mara is also doing some very similar things. Again, nothing has really changed from last time I talked about this, so I'm not going to spend too much time talking about Mara. You are still finding support here at the VWAP from the cycle top and cycle bottom almost perfectly, right? And yeah, I mean, it's just got a bunch of moving average over here that's just kind of all bunched up. I mean, I got to delete some of that stuff. I actually can't really see what's going on. It's got a lot of things over here that's getting all bunched up here, right? The 200, 50, 20, 100 is trying to figure out what it's going to do, because it's gone sideways for a whole year, right? Overall, it's still considered to be a bullish chart to me, because I still think that the 20-month moving average is still pointing up. I still think that this is probably going to still serve as support to push price up higher over time, and that none of this is a coincidence. I still think this trident over here means something, and I think that December was overdone. But the market doesn't have to do what I tell it to do. I am still in Mara. My money is still in Mara. I'm not buying anymore because I'm happy with my position. I don't need it to be like a big position. It's speculative. We'll see what it does. Update on Bitfarms, no update. It's just been stuck between this arc here, upwards and downwards here, back test the bottom, the top of the arc here. so far finding support. It's underneath a lot of various resistance here, including the weekly cloud here, including the a lot of the moving averages over here. It's just trying to break through the 100 week and it's not able to do that. It's just a laggard, stuck in a range. I think it's probably going to end up lagging behind by a few weeks at least. Last cycle over here, it also lagged behind CleanSpark. Actually, not CleanSpark. CleanSpark didn't really become a miner until December 2020. It lagged behind Mara and Riot last cycle by a few weeks, so it's probably going to end up doing that. Once it goes through, though, it's going to be pretty powerful because there's probably going to be a lot of short squeeze here that could be happening. Cipher, am I bullish on Cipher? Heck yeah, I am. I'm still in profit with this little guy over here. Basically got rejected here, 0.786, trying to push through. Bill coming back down to the zone here, trying to find some support here. Build up some energy and push through. That's what it's doing. 0.786, breaking through. Break through the arc here. Go to the next arc up here. Easily like 5 or 6x potentially. When I said easy, it's not really easy because look at this consolidation sideways over here for about like a year and a half, right? If it ends up doing that, there's no guarantee. This whole thing right here looks like a distribution phase, doesn't it? Yeah, it looks like a whatever UTAD or whatever. It looks like it could potentially break down all the way down, right? But that's not how it works, and that's not where we are at this cycle, and we're just basically breaking from one arc and backtesting another. I am favoring that we keep going up higher, so we'll see. Iron rejected here at the arc over here, just hang up in space, right? Where is it hang up at? Well, it's finding support here for a support band, right? That could potentially just serve support and just keep push price up higher. Hopefully we're going to break through this arc this time. Hopefully we're going to break through 0.786 this time. Once we do, it can go up a lot higher. Woof, well, what is it doing? It is still trying to hang on to this this arc over here. It's kind of broken underneath here, down here a little bit, but that's okay. It also broke down underneath below the support band here, but that's okay. Sometimes you just kind of break below. It doesn't really mean anything. You can overshoot that. It's fine, right? You are also still above the Ichimoku cloud, although you're losing a little bit of the kitchen over here, but that's okay. It's still a higher low. I don't care how low, it's still a higher low. The trend is still higher high and higher low. It's still trying to break about the 0.786 here. It's been trying over here for weeks and weeks and weeks, unable to do so. Come back down to the arc here, trying to find some energy to push through, right? There's a good chance that we might end up closing the week above the bullish support band here. If it does, I think it's going to be really bullish. But higher low, not worried, right? BTBT, I've been adding to this one. And it's been has it been a good ad? Maybe. I guess we'll find out. It's also consolidated sideways over here for about a year and a half, right? Extremely painful, building up a lot of energy here. But again, I think the key is that maybe it's just simply backtesting this whole bear market trend line over here. Maybe that's what it's trying to do, right? I think so. A lot of people are drawing these kind of consolidation triangle over here. I think this is just probably consolidating sideways over here, backtesting where you need to backtest. Maybe it was that trend line over there before pushing up higher. It's just simply need to break about this zone over here. It also looked like it's trying to break about the arc over here, but backtesting it, failing to really truly break out. Hovering around the zone over here, consolidating sideways. We'll see what happens. But I just think that is trying to build up a base here at the Ichimoku cloud, and it looks like it wants to go higher over time. I am just gonna keep an eye on this, and I think anything that's really underneath like $4, I think to me is still a buy. So let's say Friday. If Friday is here, what would I do with BTBT? If it's under $4, I'd probably end up keep buying. Right. Cores still holding the arc up here, still holding for our support band. I don't have anything to say about Cores. It's pretty good. Riot is gotten more bullish. It's trying to break about this arc over here for about a whole year and a half. Unable to do so far, but you got the benefit of deep my support band down here below. I think Riot might end up surprising a lot of people. It broke inside of the Ichimoku here, back to testing the bottom of Ichimoku. I think Riot might end up surprising a lot of people because even myself was dogging Riot for a while, but it's looking like it's trying to do something here, right? Broke through the arc here, backtest the arc, unable to hold, came back down, bearish backtest, plummet, right? Over here, bunch of energy trying to build up, trying to push through the arc. The more it's trying to push through the arc, the more likely it's going to go through. And when it goes through, it's probably going to be a floodgate that could end up like tripling or quadrupling price on the way up here. Kind of like what HUT did, right? I mean, like it tripled in price. Anyway, it's also trying to backtest this arc here. It's also trying to backtest this horizontal zone over here. It's trying to break through 0.618. It's having a hard time breaking through, just like Woof is doing what it needs to do, right? I could even talk about Hive. A lot of people get really hyped up on Hive. Why are you hyped up on Hive? It's done absolutely nothing. It's trendless, right? It's got no trend, right? It's underneath the Ichimoku cloud. It's no trend at all here on the Bull support band. I'm just going to leave this one alone until otherwise notice. Well, oh dear. What about Bitdeer? It didn't really hold that arc, did it? Oops. What should we do? Well, I guess it broke down underneath the arc and wanted to come up and backtest the tank in here, and so far is holding. How precise is this tank in backtest? It's not to the dollar. It's a shame. I think the candle over here came down to 17.8, and the tank in here is 17.89. What a shame, right? Yeah, but it's finding support. There's really nothing to like, to be sad about, except if we bought up here. A little bit of false breakout, and sorry, they decided to come back test some of these support, find a better solid grounding before going higher. Is this a bearish engulfing candle? Yes, it is. Do all bearish engulfing candles turn out to be bearish on a bull market? Not really. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, if it breaks down, there's all these levels down here below. The kitchen down here so far 16.2. You have the previous all-time high here around 14.75. You got a lot of these different support down here below, but I just think that this could be it. Again, if it doesn't, a lot of further support down here below. I'm done. I'm done talking about Bitcoin proxies. Bitcoin looks like it's trying to dump here again, but even Bitcoin is doing the same thing on what a lot of the miners are doing here. Even Bitcoin is also kind of backtesting a rising weekly tank in here. The rising weekly tank in here is $94,333. 94333. We'll see whether or not it closes the week. We still have a few days before it closes. But yeah, so far it's just been kind of toying with us here, becoming a little bit bearish, a little bit bullish. It's just been toying with us. I don't really have much else to add to that. It did break underneath the 20-day. It was a little bit negative sloping, so it couldn't really hold. I was hoping that it does, but it didn't. It broke down, come back down here, grab a lot of liquidity down here below, and so far the 4-hour chart has also just been ranging, right? But the more important thing is this is still a higher high here. It's still showing some strength, and then down here this is still a higher low, right? So a lot of wicks down here below. I think this move may have been it. If not, maybe a little bit small lick down here, and that's fine. But we're touching low Bollinger Band here. I don't think we have to go that much further. But yeah, Bitcoin's just messing with us. Originally, I thought that was going to come all the way down here to low Bollinger Band around like 91,700. Didn't end up really doing that. But yeah, we'll see what it does. So far, it looks like it wants to just kind of keep dumping here, ranging sideways here, and scare a lot of people. If you're scared, maybe don't be in these things. Because I also don't want you to be like way too euphoric when you shouldn't be when it happens. But yeah, I'm done talking about it. Take care, bye.